Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will be talking about some of the Auschwitz horrible punishments. Be ready to dive into the dark side of the history, but beware, this content isn't for the faint of heart. Number 4. Flogging. Prisoners were flogged publicly during the evening roll call. At first over a stool and later over a special construction called the goat. In the main camp, prisoners were also flogged in the courtyard of Block 11, or inside that block. Let me go a little bit into the graphic details of this horrible punishment. The prisoner's feet were immobilized in a wooden box. His abdomen rested on the goat, and his arms were stretched forward. SS men or prisoner functionaries administered the flogging using heavy sticks or bullwhip. The prisoner being flogged usually had to be counting aloud the blows in German, and if he lost count, the punishment had to be starting all over. This is just out of my mind. The highest number of blows was supposed to be 25, but obviously it was depending on the SS men or prisoner functionaries. Number 3. Standing cells. From the beginning of 1942, prisoners were also punished by confinement in standing cells. There were 4 spaces measuring less than 1 square meter each. The only source of air was a 5 by 5 centimeter opening covered with a metal grill. Entering to this standing cell was through a small opening at floor level, closed with bars and wooden hatch. 4 prisoners were confined in each of these spaces for the night. They had to go to work in the morning. The punishment was applied for prisoners from several nights to several weeks in a row. I feel sorry for human beings, honestly. The fact that they did this to people just because they were different, they had different beliefs or race or whatever else it was, it's just driving me crazy. Number 2, we have starvation to death. In 1941, the camp authorizes punished prisoners by starvation to death. They applied this penalty after escapes. During roll call, they took hostages to dark cells in Block 11 and held them there with no food until the escapee was caught. In all known cases, however, the hostages starved to death. During the selection of hostages at the turn of July-August 1941, the Franciscan Maximilian Kolbe volunteered, I'm hoping that I'm not butchering his name, volunteered to take the place of one of the hostages. How brave. After almost 2 weeks in the starvation cell, he was killed by a lethal injection of phenol. It wasn't enough to starve these poor people to death, and now you're injecting them? Number 1. The post. The post was an especially painful punishment. It was usually administered in the loft or Block 11, or in the yard outside the block. The victim's hands were tied behind his back, and he was hung from a post so that his feet cannot touch the ground. Horrifying. The punishment was usually inflicted for several hours. An hour at a time, the prisoner would lose consciousness because of the intense pain. The punishment usually caused the rupture of the tendons in the shoulder, leaving the victim unable to move his arms. This would put him at risk to be sent to gas chambers as an unfit for work. Alright, I am shocked, honestly. I've read some horrible stories before, but I've never been going to details this much, and this is terrible. The poor innocent people had to go through all these tortures and punishments just for being different. So hopefully someday we'll find hope in the world we live in. Let me know what you think about this dark side of the history. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye now.